Noticing form. Notice the highlighted words in the following sentences. First, when I leave, Sophie said, coming home from school, I'm going to have a boutique. Second, Jensey, linking arms with her along the stream, looked doubtful. Third, I will find it, Sophie said, staring far down the street. Fourth, Jensey, knowing they were both earmarked for biscuit factory, became melancholy. Melancholy means a feeling of sadness which lasts for a long time. She was sad because she knew Sophie's dream of opening a boutique and becoming a fashion designer and actress will never come true because their future is already set because of their socio-economic background, and they're gonna work in a biscuit factory after they passes out from the school. Question number fifth. And she turned in through the open street door, leaving Jensey standing in the rain. When we add ing to a verb, we get the present participle form. The present participle form is generally used with the form of be, is, was, are, were, am, to indicate the present continuous tense, as in Sophie was coming home from school. We can use the present participle by itself without helping verb when we wish to indicate that an action is happening at the same time as another. In example 1, Sophie said something. Said here is the main action. What Sophie was doing while she was saying is indicated by coming home from school. So we get the information of two actions happening at the same time. We convey the information in one sentence instead of two. Analyze the other examples in the same way. Pick out five other sentences from the story in which present participles are used in this sentence. In this sense. So we have to pick out five sentences in which we are using both two action words at the same time. So we are describing two actions that happening at the same time in a single sentence. So first one is she thinks money grows on trees. Don't she, Dad? Said little Derek, hanging on the back of his father's chair. So here we are talking about two things. First, she thinks money grows on trees, don't she, Dad? Said little Derek. So little Derek was saying this sentence to his dad. So saying is one action that is happening, and then he was hanging while saying this. He was hanging on his father's chair. So he did two actions. One he was saying, second he was hanging on the chair. Second is she was conscious of a vast world out there waiting for her. Conscious means aware of something. So she was aware there is a very big world that is waiting for her. So conscious, she was conscious. So was is action, that is one action that is describing in the sentence that she was conscious, and then waiting for her. So waiting is another action that is describing in the sentence, like world is waiting for her. So she was conscious that the world is waiting for her. These two things are going continuously in the sentence. Third is she saw herself riding there behind Geoff. Saw is one action and the riding is the second action, which is both are coming in this sentence. So she saw herself riding there behind Geoff. Question number four. Here I said, she said to herself, wishing Danny would come and sensing the time passing. So here I said, she said to herself. It means she was saying this to herself. So saying is one action, and wishing. She was wishing that her favorite idol Danny would also come here to meet her. So wishing was another action. She was sitting and wishing. Fifth is she waited, measuring in this way the changes taking place in her. So she waited and measuring. Measuring is another action and waiting is another action. Sixth is sitting here waiting and knowing he will not come. I can see the future. Waiting, sitting here waiting and knowing. So sitting here is another action and waiting and knowing is another action. Thinking about language. Notice these words from the story. Cuffed meaning delighted, chuffed meaning delighted or very pleased. Nosy meaning inquisitive. Gawky meaning awkward, ungainly. These are the words that are used in an informal way in colloquial speech. Colloquial speech means used in spoken conversation, which is basically informal. So we are speaking these words when you are conversing with some another person, and we usually converse with another person in informal language. We don't use much formal greetings. Make a list of 10 other words of this kind. First is boutique, meaning a shop selling fashionable clothes or expensive gifts. Second is dad, meaning father. So, father is a formal way of addressing father, and dad is informal way. Third is scooping, meaning picking up something with a spoon. And fourth is priced out, meaning extract some information with difficulty or force. Fifth is muttered, meaning murmured. It's a very low voice. You're saying something in a very low voice. Sixth is pub, meaning a place where one can drink. It's like doing some party kind of thing, and you're going to a place where you can drink, enjoy yourself, which gives a party type vibe. Seventh is jeered, meaning taunted. Eighth is damn, meaning go to hell. Damn is a bad word. Ninth is ghost past, meaning moved unseen and unheard. Tenth is huh. Huh, it's a really informal word. We usually use it, especially on social sites, meaning an expression showing disagreement. Like you're in disbelief or you're not believing someone, and you don't want to agree with. So you said like, huh? Is it like that? Okay, I don't know. Writing. Think of a person who you would like to have as your role model. Write down the points to be discussed or questions to be asked. If you were asked to interview that person on the television show, so you have to think of your role model, your idol, which you follow, which you know a lot about, or which you like, and then if you're giving, then think and imagine like you're giving a chance to interview that person on a TV show. So you have to write the questions you will ask him or her. So we are taking an example of Sunil Gavaskar. He is an Indian cricketer, and we are going to interview him. So the following questions are: first, welcome Sunil to our chat show. How do you feel at this stage of life? Second, Sachin Tendulkar has broken your record of hitting the highest number of test hundreds. How do you react to that? Third, what helps you to keep fit and smart at this age? Fourth, what are your current international engagements? Fifth, what do you prefer, writing books on cricket or commenting on television? Sixth, have you ever thought of coaching India? Seventh, Would you like to be involved intimately in grooming budding talent? If offer comes from the right quarters. 8th, what are your plans for helping the players to get a better deal? Ninth, how do you balance your international engagement with your personal obligations? 10th, what are your interests other than cricket? So we basically start with the greeting. Then we ask them about their feelings, their experience, and their past records. Then we are talking about present, what they are doing in present, what are their future plans. Then we talk about their career and their dreams, their hobbies, their interests, and then we talk about their relations. So in this, we are basically talking about the cricket, where the game cricket. So every question is basically linked with cricket because he's in cricketer. So main focus is on cricket. But in the last question, you could see that we are asking what other hobbies you have other than cricket, your interest other than cricket. You could take another example. You could take any other person who is famous and who you like to follow, and could make another set of questions according to this, or you could follow your own rules, but the format should be like this. Short answer type questions. Question number 1. What does Sophie dreams of doing after she passes out of school? Why do you call it a dream and not a plan? So when we basically think about the future, we plan it. We plan of going to a college, we plan of doing this job, we plan on going for this occasion in this occupation. But Sophie is here dreaming. The narrator is describing it as dreams, not a plan. Why it is so? Sophie dreams to have a boutique of her own. It will be the most amazing shop the city has ever seen. She says that she will buy a boutique if ever she comes into money. She does not mind becoming an actress to run a boutique, a side business. Since she has no money or experience, it is called a dream and not a plan. So it is a dream because she doesn't have the resources to make it true. She doesn't have the talent, she doesn't have experience, she doesn't have the capital because of her social economic background. So and she just said in passing that if I come into money then I will buy it. So she doesn't take it seriously, it's just her dream, and we all know that it will not become reality until something really unexpected happens. That's why we are saying it a plan. If it was that's why we are saying it is not a plan, because if it was a plan she would have planned it, like she will do it like this, she will then do it this capital will come from there, and she would have make it more connected with reality, so the chances of becoming it true will increase, but it's impossible, and that's why it's just a dream, just a imagination. Question number 2. What are other dreams of Sophie in addition to having a boutique? The greatest dreams of Sophie is to have a boutique. She wants to be a bit sophisticated and rise above her lower middle class status. Sophisticated means having the knowledge of culture, of society, and fashion sense. So she wants to be like higher class people. She wants to be like them. So she wants to be sophisticated and rise from a lower middle class status. Her other dream is of being an actress. Is there's really money in that. So she thinks that actors and actors are um, earn a big amount of money and they're really rich people. So she wants to become an actress because of money. Moreover, actresses don't work full time. She can look after her first love, boutique as a side business. She has another opinion. She can be a fashion designer and do something sophisticated. So she could be a actress, and because actors make a lot of money and she's free, they just make a few hour movie and then they're free. So she thought she have a lot of time if she become an actress, and then she could look after her boutique. And if she didn't become an actress, then there is a path of a fashion designer too. She could do something sophisticated like fashion designing and make some dresses. So it's also good for her. So she dreams of doing these things. Question number third. Compare and contrast Sophie and Jensey. Or Jensey is Sophie's classmate and friend, but doesn't entertain any wild dreams like her. Why? Sophie and Jensey are classmates and friends, but the similarities end here. They are poles apart in the thinking and temperament. Temperament is character. Sophie is an incredible dreamer and escapist. She dreams of big and beautiful things which are beyond her reach. On the other hand, Jensey is realist and practical. She knows that they are poor and will have to work in biscuit factory after leaving school. She is well aware that big things require big money and experience, which they don't have. It is better to live in reality and think accordingly. So, Jensey is a person who accepts facts and reality and act according to them. So, she knows that dreaming about big things needs a lot of money, and they don't have that much money. And so, it's better to live in reality and act according to it. And Sophie is quite opposite. She lives in her dreams. She dreams. She lives in her fantasies. She imagines, which is really impossible to become reality. But she doesn't give up. She lives in her wild stories. Question number four. Why was Sophie jealous of George's silence? Geoff was almost grown up now. He spoke little. Words had to be extracted out of him like stones out of the ground. Sophie was jealous of his silence. She knew that when he was not speaking, he was away somewhere. He was out in the surrounding country in those places she had never been. She wanted to share her brother's affection. So Geoff is now quite grown up and he's a reserved boy, so he spoke very little. And Sophie knew that when he's not speaking, he is lost somewhere. He is lost in those places he visited, and he is reminding about those experiences. She wants to know about them too. She wants to go to those places too because she knows that her brother will not share his experience. She wants to go with her brother. She is also curious and she wants to experience going outside, going far away from home. That's why she is jealous of Geoff's silence. Question number five. What does Sophie tell Geoff about her meeting with Danny Casey? How does Geoff react to it? Sophie tells Geoff that she met Danny Casey. Geoff is surprised. He looks around abruptly and asks, Where? Sophie replies that she met him in the arcade. Arcade is a large covered passage or an area with shops along one or both sides. Geoff can't believe her. He says it never true. He asks her, What does he look like? She replies that he has green eyes and is not very tall. Geoff is not still convinced. Question number six. Sophie's dream and disappointments are all in her mind. Do you agree? Give reasons in support of your answer. I fully agree with the observation. Sophie's dreams and disappointments are all in her mind. She is a hero worshipper. The Irish pro- the Irish prodigy is her hero. She imagines a meeting with him. Prodigy means a genius or a young person with exceptional qualities and abilities. Her daydreaming makes her sad and despondent. Despondent means without hope, expecting no improvement. So, her daydreaming makes her sad and despondent because she knew that her dreams are not true. The idea that Cassie will not come at all is quite painful to her, thus, her dreams and disappointments are produced of her mind only. They have nothing to do with reality. Her dreams have nothing to do with reality, and the failure of her dreams also have nothing to do with reality. Question number 7. Why did Sophie long for her brother's affection? Answer is Geoff was not very talkative. He was introvert. Introvert is a person who is reserved and prefer calm environment. Sophie thought that Geoff had access to a world where she had not got even a chance to visit. She wanted to be the part of her brother's world. That is why she longed for his affection. Long answer type questions. Question number 1. What impression do you form of Sophie on reading the story Going Places? Or Sophie has her own dreams and disappointments, but they are all her creations. The creation of her mind justify the statement. Sophie is a young schoolgirl. She dreams of big and beautiful things. Some of these are beyond her reach or her means. Her ambitions have no relation with the harsh reality of life. She thinks of having a boutique. She wants to have the most amazing shop this city has ever seen. Then she entertains the idea of being an actress. There's real money in that. Actresses do not work full time. So she would open the boutique as a side business, if not rich enough and her dreams can't be fulfilled. Sophie develops a romantic fascination for Danny Casey. He is a young Irish football player and the hero of her dreams. She indulges in hero worship. She tells a story that she met Casey. Her father calls it another of her wild stories. Even Geoff does not believe her. He tries to caution her. Cassie is a celebrity. Many girls run after him. But Sophie ignores him. She is an incurable dreamer. She has seen Cassie only once, and all the time she thinks of him. She sits alone and waits for his arrival. She becomes sad and despondent when Cassie does not come. She suffers because of her dreams. These dreams and disappointments are all creation of her mind. Describe the bond between Geoff and Sophie in spite of differences in their temperament and thinking. Geoff was Sophie's elder brother. He was 3 years out of school. He was an apprentice mechanic and traveled to his work each day to the far side of the city. He was almost grown up now. He spoke very little. Sophie was jealous of Geoff's silence. He was quiet and didn't make new friends easily. He thought that Sophie was too young and immature. Geoff was mature enough to understand his limitations and those of his family. He never dreamed of big and beautiful things. In spite of differences in their temperaments, there was a close bond between the two. Geoff was always the first to share Sophie's secret. He knew that Sophie's story of meeting Danny Casey was not true. Still, he listened to her. Sophie confided in him. Confide means telling the secrets and trusting him. The secret was something special just between them. It was not meant for nosy Jensey who would spread it in the whole neighborhood. Geoff tried to persuade Sophie. He warned her that Danny Casey was a celebrity. He must have many girls like her running after him. Sophie told him that Cassie would give her an autograph if she cared to meet him next week. Geoff did not believe he would ever show up. Thus, he acted like an elder brother. Geoff and Sophie share a common trait. It is their fascination for the Irish prodigy, Danny Casey. But they differ in their thinking. Like his father, Geoff wished Casey to be a great footballer one day. Sophie had a romantic fascination for Casey. It was something else other than football. Question number 3. Who was Danny Casey? How was he adored by the family of Sophie, and especially by Sophie and her family? Answer. Danny Casey was an Irish prodigy. He was a wonder boy of football. He had won the hearts of countless fans. He played for United. Sophie's family was obsessed with the Irish genius. Sophie's father compared young Danny Casey to another great football player, Tom Finney. He wished that Casey might be that good someday. He knew there were a lot of distraction for a youngster in game those days. He wished that Casey would keep his head on his shoulders. Geoff remarked that he was with the best team in the country. He hoped that Casey would prove even a better player than Tom Finney. Geoff considered him the best. His father thought that he was too young for the first team. The fact was that with his exceptional ability, he was playing for the first 11. On Saturday, Sophie's family made their weekly pilgrimage to the stadium to watch United play their match. They watched their hero, Danny Casey, in action. He was running, going around the two big defenders, then he was on the edge of penalty area. Sophie's father was screaming for him to pass. They saw him beating the hesitant goalkeeper from a dozen yards. He scored the second goal. United won 2-0. Sophie glowed with pride. Geoff was ecstatic. It means he was very happy and excited. Someone wished he were an Englishman. Little Derek declared that Ireland would win the World Cup. Their father went to the pub to celebrate. Sophie adored Danny Casey. She had a romantic fascination for the Irish prodigy. Her young heart throbbed for her hero. She imagined Cassie coming to her. She would sit under a tree, waiting for Cassie and dreaming for him. She realized that he would not come. This made her sad and dejected. Sophie became a victim of her own dreams and disappointments. Question number 4. Compare and contrast Sophie and Jensey, highlighting their temperament and aspirations. Answer is Sophie and Jensey are class fellow and friends. They belong to lower middle class families. Both of them are earmarked for biscuit factory. Jensey feet are firmly planted on the ground, but Sophie is totally blind to the harsh realities of life. She dreams of big and beautiful things. She wants to have a boutique. She thinks of becoming an actress as there is a lot of money in the profession. If needed be, she can also be a fashion designer. In short, she loves to be grand and sophisticated. All her dreams are beyond her reach and resources. Jensey advises her to be sensible, but she remains a romantic dreamer. Sophie and Jensey differ in thinking and temperament. Sophie is lost in a dream world. She shares her secret with only one person. It is her elder brother Geoff. Jensey is nosy. She takes interest in learning new things about others. She can spread the story in the whole neighborhood. So, Sophie doesn't want to share secrets with her. Sophie's, Sophie is an incurable dreamer and escapist. She is a hero worshipper. She adores the young Irish footballer Danny Casey. She develops a fascination for her. She becomes sad and helpless, but she doesn't become wiser. She remains a dreamer. Jens is practical and realist. She has no such unrealistic dreams. So even if they are friends and classmates, they are polar opposite. One is realistic, the other is a dreamer. Value based questions. Question number one: the unrealistic dreams determine negativity and failure. Childhood dreams sometimes dishearten and disappoint the people. Read an article on the topic Horrors of Unrealistic Dreams, taking ideas from the follow lines. For some while waiting, she imagined his coming. She watched a long candle, seeing him come out of shadows, imagining her own consequent excitement. Answer: Horrors of unrealistic dreams. People harbor fears and uncontrollable desires. Harbor means to keep feeling and thoughts secret in your mind for a long time. So people harbor fears and uncontrollable desires. The search for a better life is one of the most basic desires of human being. So human beings are like that, they want a comfortable life if they are living in a condition, so they always desire for something more that will give them a free and comfortable life, but they substantially deviate from the path of righteousness when they feel that their unquenchable desires can never be fulfilled. Deviate means to change or and become different from what is normal and expected. So they were expected to follow the righteous path and the right path, but they deviate from it to fulfill their desires. And their unquenchable desires mean they will never be satisfied. They will never be able to be satisfied. Their desires will never be fulfilled. So that's why it is unquenchable desires. They found themselves in the depth of depression. The mortal should use their wisdom to set realistic goals. Realistic goals, it means the goals they have the courage to fulfill and that could be fulfilled, not just some imagination that is impossible. If you set up some goals that is impossible to fulfill but looks really good, then that's not reality. You will only get disappointment and you will only become sad when those goals will not come true, when you cannot fulfill them. Imagination is thrice away from reality. Undoubtedly the human race is governed by its imagination. I mean, imagination is good, We imagine something and we try to fulfill it. We try to be to make it true. But imagination is really far away from reality. Being too involved in imagination and dreams is really bad for you. But it is also a harsh reality of life that he who has imagination without learning has wings but no feet. It means if he's not learning, if he's not doing something, if he's just sitting and imagining things, that he has wings but no feet. It means he will just fly away in his imagination, but he won't know how to walk. So he isn't doing something really useful or predictable, but he is just sitting there in imagining things. It will not work that way. You are not in reality. You're not doing something in reality. One should not forget that there is a difference between real life and real life. The happenings of dream cannot take place in this physical world. Those who ignore the present situation while setting their goals will repent later. Repent means you will regret it, and to show that you are sorry about something that you have done, or something bad that you have done. So you will repent for it. Man has to identify his latent talent. Latent is hidden talent that is there, that exists, but you are not aware of it. You are, it's hidden. So we have to discover, we have to identify, we have to explore our talent and potential to materialize his goals. One should have thorough knowledge of one's interest and outlook. So if you want our goals to become true, if you want to be successful in our life, and so we should not be greedy, and we should not just lost in our dreams and imaginations. We should connect it related with the reality. So we should know about our potential. We should explore our talents and do something related to that. Imagine something related to that, make your goal and do your hard work so you could be successful. Second question. The world we are living in is replete with hypocrites and ditchers. Hypocrites are those people who say something and do something. It means they're saying something really different, and they have something in their mind and in their heart really different. So they're two-faced people. They are not real people. It became difficult for us to confide our secrets to someone. So trusting someone like that, who is not even showing us his real face, who is saying something sweet to us and might say something really bad to other people about us. So it's really difficult to trust someone and confide our secrets to that someone. But it is important to have somebody you can confide in. But it is also important to let it out, to let your secrets out, to discuss with someone. Discuss the topic taking ideas from the following expressions. Sophie glared at the ground. Damn that Geoff. This was a Geoff thing, not a Jensey thing. It was meant to be something special just between them, something secret. It wasn't a Jensey kind of thing at all. Jensey kind of thing, it means Jensey is a noisy person, and she likes to gossip, she likes to spread uh, the story in her neighborhood, and she is really interested in other people's affair. So it was a story means to be secret in a few people, in Sophie and Geoff, but she doesn't want everyone to know about it. That's why it was not Chelsea's thing, it was Geoff's thing. And Geoff told Chelsea about it, so Sophie is really angry about it and feeling sad. Answer is man is a social animal. Animal we are saying as human are animals and social we are saying because man is a social animal means men's need a society. We live in a group, we live in a society, and communication is a very important part of our life. We communicate with our friends, with our families. We can't live in isolation, live in isolation, disconnected with everyone. We need people around us to survive. He has to interact with the fellow human beings to give vent to his emotional grievances and sentimental grudges. He needs a person, a man to confide in his secrets. This dog eat dog world has numerous people who seem to be trustworthy, but they are pretenders, hypocrites, and opportunists. Opportunists, it means if they got to see opportunity, they will go for it and they will leave you behind. They will backstab you, or they might follow you just to take advantage of you. They could be pretenders. Um, they are pretending something, or they could be hypocrites. So they're not trustworthy, and you might not even know the other person is a bad people or other person is not trustworthy. A person who leads a lonely life never feels happy and contented. His life become a hell. Expression of thoughts lighten the human soul. It is a matter of fact that there is a death of true men. People do not believe in one another. Material prosperity and unhealthy competition have eroded trust. So to be successful, to be to become first, and to lead a good life, we take advantage of others. We think of us as a superior being and others as inferior. We thought that to become successful in life, we could cheat others, which is not good. So it's eroded our trust. So the trust in human beings are fading away when we got to face betrayal and betrayal. So we have trouble in trusting other person because who knows what other person is thinking? Who knows even if it's trustworthy or not? So we are now starting to have doubts about it. Our, to, our forefathers worked together, lived together, and earned their livelihood together. In the modern world, lack of trust has created nuclear families. Nuclear families is basically mother, father, and their children. Joint families are bigger family with grandparents and their all children and their grandchildren. A large family. So when a large family live together, they have trust between family members. They are comfortable with living each other, and they have love um, between them, and it's a happy moment for them to to live together. It's they led a happy life, so they earn together, they eat together, and they live together. But now there is a lack of trust. Brother and brother don't trust each other. Student parent doesn't trust each other. So this lack of trust create distance between human beings. That why now there are uh, nuclear families instead of joint families. The concept of joint family was based on principles of trust, honesty, and brotherhood. These virtues have no significance in the present age. Trust gives us strength and courage to overcome the obstacles coming in the life. It means whatever hurdles we are facing, whatever problems we are facing, if we have our companion with us, if we have our family members or friends with us whom we could trust, whom we could share about problems with, we could find the solution of the situation together, or we could support each other emotionally and mentally. So it's good for mental health and emotional health too. We could not just tackle the problem by ourselves. We need help of others too, even if they could not help us practically or directly. It is said that a man is in need is a man indeed. We must have someone with us whom we can tell our secrets and reveal the truth. There should be a person who could objectively listen to our candid confessions. Candid means saying exactly what you think. So we could not just be pretenders or just could hide all of the things inside us. We need to let it out. We need to let out our secrets, our feelings. And for that, we need a person whom we could trust. We need the person to follow us, to so we could confide our secrets in him. Question number 3. Children begin by loving their parents. After a time, they judge them. Rarely, if ever, do they forgive them. The attitude of parents shape the child's perception. Write an article on effective parenting taking ideas from the following lines. Sophie's father was scooping shepherd's pie in his mouth as hard as he could, his plump face still grimy and sad, marked from the day outside the pub she passed her father's bicycle propped against wall and was glad. Answer is effective parenting. Taking care of children requires infinite patience, great tolerance, and profound wisdom. Tolerance means indulgence for beliefs or practices different from one's own. So if even if the other person might thought something different, his principles might be different and his beliefs might be different, you have to tolerate it. You have to be patient with him. You can't just lash out on him or be oppressive or just force him to follow your own beliefs. Then you have to be patient and you have to have profound wisdom. Profound is like very great in showing a lot of knowledge or thought. So you have to have great wisdom in thought and knowledge. Children are emotional and delicate creatures. So small children are really emotional beings. They do not have much intelligence and wisdom. They do not have much patience too. They are very really delicate. If you scold them, so they could be hurt easily, both physically and mentally and emotionally. They should not be treated as things. They are not things. They are people. People should people scold children frequently. Consequently, they become rude and arrogant. Those those who thrash the tiny tots tend to forget that children intend to explore the mystery of physical objects. All the things available at home make children curious. Their insatiable curiosity gets stimulated and stirred when they get freedom to touch them. Stimulated means to make somebody feel interested and excited about. So when children got to learn new knowledge, new facts, something new and interesting, they are really interesting in it. They feel excited. They are curious about it because they have never seen it before. They want to touch it, they want to explore it, they want to see how it works, what its property is, and many more things. So when they got a chance to do it, they will do it. Their spontaneity must not be hindered. Spontaneity is a resulting of nature, impulse, or tendency. So it's a natural impulse to explore and be curious about new things. We do not give them a task to explore and observe new things. It's their own natural impulse. They want to explore them because it's totally new for them. They want to observe all the knowledge about it. Parents should encourage children to create new things. They should develop their interest in various activities so as to make their lives colorful. Their question asked out of innocence should be answered thoughtfully. It is a universally accepted fact that children learn by imitating others. Imitating means they copy other, they copy adults. So if an adult is doing something, doing a work, doing a task, they observe him, they saw him, and they want to copy the task. They want to do the task by themselves, just like the adult had done it. Even if we knew that they don't have the capacity to do it and they're too small to do it, but they're really curious and they want to do it on their own. Their questions asked out of innocence should be answered thoughtfully. Parents should never argue with each other in the presence of their children. The children are very observant, they observe everything around them. So, if the parents will argue with each other in front of children, it will be a really bad impact on children. They should treat the children in an affectionate way. Their, the children needs a lot of love and care and a lot of patience. So you should treat them with affectionate way. They should play the role of a man, teacher, counselor, and parents. Our questions are finished.